Hello. Look how pretty you are. Hi everyone, welcome to Tiny Barn Farm. Today we're going to take a bit of a garden tour. I've been working on the garden, just getting it prepared for some planting. I've been really holding off on planting this year because we tend to get frost now in like the second week of June for some reason. And, kind of the advice around here is, don't plant your tomatoes and peppers until after the full moon in June. But this year, full moon in June is June 21st. So, I don't know if I'm going to wait that long. But I'm just starting to seed some things. Like I already have my potatoes in and my carrots. And I'm hoping to I've just planted some chard, and also I'm going to be planting some kale and collards today, and hopefully some beans. I'm not sure if I should hold off on the beans. I know they tend to germinate pretty quickly, and they're super sensitive to frost, so I don't want to lose those. So we'll see. I might hold off a little bit on those, but I'll do a bit of a tour of the garden with you, and we can kind of see what's happening out there. Approaching the garden. I've been doing quite a bit of weeding. I mean, I do a combination of hand weeding and silage tarp weeding, which I much prefer the silage tarp method. It tends to weed the garden for you. That's a silage tarp way in the distance there. So that's weeding those garden beds for us as we speak. But this is kind of what I have going so far. I've just planted some chard here, and I'll be saving these 2 rows for peppers. I'll probably wait another week or so before I put them in, and then I believe I'm going to put some kale. I've got the plan already set. I've got my carrots over there in that kind of curved area, and I'll show you the center. The center of the garden is kind of my favorite part. It's kind of this is my herb garden. So I have parsley already there on the left. I've got some oregano that came up really beautifully this year. I love oregano, so I'm hoping to grow more of this. We grew that from seed and it came up this year, and that's a perennial, so that'll come up every year. And so I'm hoping to grow more because I want to dry it. I just love using oregano through the winter time. My onions are coming up. So these were onion sets, and they just came up. We got a little bit of rain, and poof, there they are. They just showed up. It's just amazing, which is really awesome. And then we also have little green onions coming up. Can't quite see them yet. Our peas are growing already, and those will grow up on this trellis. I just left the trellis in from last year, and I figured, you know what, let's just do the peas here again. I added some manure, and hopefully they'll do well, but they just popped up pretty quickly too, so I think they're just going to start climbing this, which will be really great. This area needs to be weeded. Oh my god, but look at all the daisies. I might just leave that. So beautiful. Let's just be covered in daisies. Look at that. They're like bouquets. Just this will just be all daisies. So I don't know. I'm tempted to leave it. I know I'll just end up with a whole bunch of seeds in here, but they're here anyway. Maybe I'll just leave that. Probably do cucumbers along this trellised area. Didn't have much luck with cucumbers last year. I just don't think it gets hot enough, but we'll see. This is black-eyed Susie. This is a perennial flower that comes up. It's got some weeds in it as well, but those fuzzy leaves, I believe, are the flowers coming back. And then this is going to be my tomato garden. So I'm going to get some stakes out here and start preparing for that. I will plant those at the same time as the peppers, probably in about a week, just to avoid any frost risk. I lost a ton of tomatoes last year because of frost. We got a frost on June 8th last year, and that was really terrible because we lost like 30 plants. So yeah, there's the peas there. Hello, little peas. These are snow peas. I just love snow peas. We just eat them right off the vine. So yeah, we're really excited to have these coming up. Hopefully it doesn't get too hot so that they don't get affected by that. But we did really last year. We were growing snow peas for all the way until August on this vine. So it's got a lot of fertility added to it this year, so it should do just fine. Yeah, so overall, lots happening out here. The fruit bushes along the perimeter are doing well. There's something eating my apple trees, which is not surprising. There's something eating the foliage on them. I don't really spray anything. We like to keep things organic around here, so if something doesn't do well, we just chalk it up to that's just the way it goes. So there's always going to be losses in the garden. I don't get too upset or too stressed out about stuff like that. We grow enough food that we can either share with the animals or or the insects. So I wanted to check out how the berry bushes are doing. Look at these. These are blackberry bushes. We're gonna get some beautiful blackberries. Look at that. I mean, it's about 3 feet wide, 2 feet high. Just incredible. Oh, look at that little beauty. Hello. This little butterfly is blue on the other side. So pretty. All right, so this for some reason blackberry bush is kind of, well, it's doing okay. It's just not doing as good as these ones. So we have 3 of those. This is our apple tree. Something's eating the foliage on these. I mean, I know apple trees can be a little bit tricky. I don't know a lot about growing fruit, so I'm gonna just kind of learn as I go. But there's something eating I know there's probably deer nibbling at the leaves, but there's something eating the foliage in terms of an insect. So I'm gonna do a little research and try to learn a little bit more about apple trees. We'll see. That's our compost pile, which I'd like to build a bit more of a structure for that, but it's doing all right. It's a good place to just put all of our vegetable scraps. Another tree having its foliage, but this tree's getting quite tall. It's like 8 feet tall already. So I don't know. I mean, it's been here for a year and it's alive. That's always a good sign. We've got some Saskatoon berries kind of buried in this big area of weeds, but they're doing okay. And I think I spotted berries on them at some point, but they're still sprouting. They're still sprouting. Let's see what else we have. Silage tarp doing its thing. Very, very handy for any gardener. Even if I have also cut them up sometimes into small bits and put them on smaller gardens. So that's another thing. If you're a home gardener, you can get silage tarp and just cut them up into the size of your gardens. And that does the same thing. This is elderberry. So this is common elderberry, and it grows lots of berries. You can't eat these raw, they're poisonous, but if you cook them, they're edible. So you can make elderberry jam or, oh, I just saw a snake. Yes, we do have garter snakes here. And I don't think, let's see if I can spot it. A garter snake. I love little garter snakes. I know there's a lot of people that are very afraid of snakes. The garter snakes are very harmless and they're just beautiful. So if oh, there it is, there it is. Let's try to get a close-up of that. Look at that. Look at that beauty. I am one of the few people that actually is totally fascinated by these little guys. Look at how gorgeous. There's a few of them living here. There you are. Hello. Oh, look at you. These snakes are harmless. They don't bite. They just love to live in the garden, especially when there's a tarp around or stacks of wood or stones. So keep that in mind. If you have a fear of snakes, you might not want to have like a stone wall or anything in your garden, but if you like having them around, which I do, have those things in your garden because they will be attracted to it and they'll live here. Oh, there he goes. This area is going to be all sunflowers. It's just a big field of sunflowers. I've got potatoes in here. We're going to have dry beans over here. So this is kind of the back end of the garden, closest to the tiny barn. These are raspberries, and we get lots of raspberries off these. We actually transplanted these from another property that we sold, and they do just fine. So yeah, we're really excited about those because they are like nice, big, ripe, like good size raspberries. They end up being like almost like an inch in diameter. So yeah, we were very, very excited to bring these, and they're just thriving here. Like they're just getting huge, and they're starting to spread into the garden, which we're okay with. They're starting to spread over there. We're okay if this just takes over because we love raspberries, and the more the better. Here we're gonna do pollinator garden with like just a bunch of different flowers. I just got a bag of, you know, pollinator flower seeds. There's my other tarp. And then here's our blueberry plants. And they're doing just fine. Look at that one. Like, we're gonna get just a whole bunch of blueberries off this tiny little plant. Blueberries do really well here. We have pretty sandy soil, and they just like the soil. So I think I have about 18 of them. And yeah, even the tiny little ones are doing just fine. I didn't think they were gonna make it last year, but the lady that I bought them from, she's like, oh, don't worry. Blueberries are really resilient, so they'll do just fine. And another plant that I added to the garden this year was haskaps. This is not a haskap, this is blueberry. Again, we've got lots of berries coming up, assuming the birds don't get to them first, but there's some berries there already. We'll have a nice little crop of blueberries. And oh yeah, like this one's almost all blueberries, which is so strange. But yeah, on this end here, we have 3 haskap bushes. So these will get quite large. And yeah, we're excited to try those. I've never tried haskap, so anybody out there who has, let me know. I'm just excited to just have a nice variety of different berries in the garden. There we are. All right, let's get planting. Let's get some collards in the ground. I plant these about 6 inches apart because I know final, once they mature, they like to be more like 18 inches apart. But I feel like 6 inches at least gives me a little bit of a chance for germination, so I don't have too many blank spots. I'm wearing a bug jacket today because the bugs are pretty bad, but the wind has picked up, so I don't need it on my face anymore. This is a volunteer sunflower. Isn't that amazing? I had sunflowers here last year, and this one just grew on its own. I usually tend to keep those if they're not really in the way. That'll look pretty in the middle of the collared patch. These tags are actually metal. They're old Venetian blinds. You know, the ones they just don't sell anymore because they're so dangerous. I actually got them from a thrift shop, and I just cut them up into little tags, and they've been amazing. I get to reuse them because they'll fade eventually over time. But yeah, really, really handy little metal tags for all my vegetables, just to know that the gardens have been planted. I also have some for the carrots as well. That just kind of marks the gardens so I know that they've been seeded and I don't accidentally reseed with something else. I'm just planning the next steps in the garden. So I've updated my little garden plan here, and I've already, so the highlighted, so I've just populated it. with what I think is going to be planted where. I do tend to change my mind sometimes, and that also depends on how many seeds I have. I just planted collards, so I'm going to cross that out, or not cross it out, but highlight it. This is just kind of a indication of what's been done and what hasn't been done yet, and then I can move things around. But yeah, I think my next seed is going to be kale. So I'm going to plant some of this kale. I love this Black Magic kale. But I do have the Nero di Toscani kale. It's been a little bit more leafy, but I'm just going to plant it because I just have leftovers from last year. But this black kale is my favorite. So, and then I'm also going to do corn. So I have indicated here 3 rows of corn, but I'm not sure I'm going to have enough seed. But I'll just plant what I have, and then if I have room left over, that's okay as well. But yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. I mean, it's slowly but surely. Oh, and then the pollinator garden. Hoping I got this huge bag of pollinator seeds, and yeah, there's just tons in here. So I'm just gonna basically spread them out and rake them out into this garden. So that's gonna be all flowers, and it's so beautiful. Like, this picture doesn't even do it justice on how amazing that flower garden will be. And it's really nice for cut flowers too. So yeah, I always do a pollinator garden. I also have a whole bunch in my seed bank here, I also have a whole bunch of sunflower seeds. So I'll be planting those as well. Oh, here we are. I even have some leftover dahlia seeds. I might just throw those in with the pollinators. But yeah, I've got lots of sunflowers. So yeah, those will be next, and those will go in the other corner. Oh, I've got more pollinator here. Bee feed. Lots of sunflowers. So yeah, I'll be doing a flower garden on this corner as well. Yeah, so as I do these videos and kind of make my way through the garden, you'll see how things start to evolve. So I tend to kind of put the things that I'm not going to really touch till the fall in the farther part of the garden, and then the things that need more maintenance, like tomatoes, and the things that I'm grabbing for dinner, like the chard and the onions and snow peas and cucumbers and things like that, things that you just kind of run out and grab for dinner. I like to have those a little closer to the house. And then I just put all my herbs in the center so that I'm always kind of visiting the center of the garden. I think that's it for seeding today. I think my dog's getting a little hungry for lunch. Anyway, I'm gonna head in, but I wanted to thank you guys so much for watching. I wish you all the luck with your gardens if you're taking that plunge this year. And please like and subscribe. I'm gonna have many more gardening tips, and who knows what's gonna happen with the critters around this place. Thank you for visiting Tiny Barn Farm, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day. That's a turkey vulture up there. Look at that. Incredible.